Hello Aquarius, my name is Amber. This is the Symbols for Living YouTube channel. This is a reading for January 2017 for Aquarius Moon, Rising, Sun, Stellium in Aquarius. I don't know, anyone with a very strong Aquarius energy in their chart. It could even be your North Node, like conjunct Uranus, in the 11th house or something. It could make you very, very Aquarian, and you could very much pick up quite easily on Aquarian energies or Aquarian themed issues or circumstances that occur in your life. So, this reading could be for you. I found personally, don't mean to go on, but I found personally with my Libra stellium, I tend to get, especially with my Venus being in Libra, I get quite a lot of insight into the Libran love readings here on YouTube. And also I've got a strong placement in my second house, which is very much Taurian. Again, when I listen to Taurian readings, sometimes I feel very much like it resonates with me. So yeah, I would go as far to say, anyone with a strong Aquarius energy can relate to an Aquarius reading. But definitely it's going to manifest more if it's your sun sign, moon sign, especially ascendant, because the sun and the ascendant placements represent the physical usually and manifestations of things. So with that being said, I'll go ahead with the reading. So at the center of the reading, we've got the King of Swords crossed by the Page of Swords, which is quite interesting because I've just done a reading for Capricorn, and he or she, sorry, the Capricorn reading had the very same beginning. And it's interesting because the way I shuffled the cards, these two cards haven't come out together, as in they weren't next to each other in the deck. I've picked them kind of sporadically, so it's quite interesting. Maybe you know a Capricorn and you're maybe in the same situation. So yeah, take a look at it. You might find some interesting information that life therein, that video. So, but yeah, with the King of Swords crossed by the Page of Swords, it would show that maybe you're maturing into, especially with it being an air sign representing Aquarius and the other air signs, it may be that you feel you're maturing very much so on a personal level, or being asked to mature on a personal level when it comes to how you communicate, how you talk, how you interact with others, how you hold yourself, your perspective, how you manage yourself even, just taking a more mature approach in that. And with the Page of Swords crossing it, it would suggest that possibly you're finding that to be a challenge. You may feel like you're not quite able to, or maybe this means that you can't just speak your truth as you want, because the Page of Swords would has faith in the truth and believes that truth will conquer all kind of attitude, like that truth, honesty is the best policy, is quite a optimistic look on things, whereas the more mature swords, royal or his more mature royal counterpart, the King of Swords, would know that sometimes the truth is sometimes a lie is better. So maybe you're having a bit of a conflict there with knowing what you want to say, but then knowing what you have to say. That kind of conflict, that kind of energy you seem to be dealing with. maybe what's expected of you and what you actually want. Maybe having to try to fit into some sort of norm where you want to be your usual independent of thought Aquarian kind of spirit. So there's that energy there, but maybe as we go through the reading it will explain itself more. So then we've got the Queen of Swords at the base of your reading. Again, another Aquarius figure here. This could be somebody that's on your mind. This could be you yourself again. I mean, we've got all three of the swords royalty here, apart from the Knight, which shows there's maybe a meeting of minds, maybe. Yeah, maybe some sort of a group of people of like minds that you may be working with at the moment. It could easily be a mother, a father, and a child here. It could be that you yourself are dealing with a younger person or being seen as younger for some reason. Some sort of development may be going on here for you. You yourself seem to be developing on a very kind of very personal level. So then as an outcome of this, you then seem to feel you have more options. Sorry, this reading is really interesting and I'm just trying to make sure I get all the right messages for you. But with the Seven of Cups crowning the reading, this shows what you're kind of outwardly focused on. You're outwardly focused on new opportunities, figuring out what you really want. And especially with the Justice card being the outcome, this is something about you making a decision about deciding what you really want. And as an outcome with the Justice card, that is exactly what will happen. This may have something to do with love because we have got the Six of Cups here and the Eight of Cups. You may have to make a decision between a bunch of people or between a bunch of offers in love. You yourself are feeling quite... I don't think you want to move. You don't want to budge from whatever. Maybe you don't really want to make a decision, but you have taken some time out to try to do that, but you don't really want to do that. You'd rather have some more time, I think, to think about things, whatever is happening. So you know you have to make a decision, but you might not want to say what has to be said. Or maybe it's going to require you to be honest, to kind of take a step out of what you're actually more comfortable or usually more comfortable doing. Maybe you're more comfortable being the Queen of Swords. If we were to look at this as less of a character representation and more of energies, the Queen of Swords energy is less developed than the King of Swords energy in terms of the use of the sword energy. So the Queen of Swords, she may be more inclined to be more emotive in her thought process, which can sometimes cloud her more true judgment, possibly. She is someone who has experienced or been through a certain amount of pain. So she may act in more of react in more of an emotional way, albeit with her words or with her intellect. And maybe you're being asked to really step up a gear a little bit in that area, and don't get lost in your emotions when making this decision. Although these decisions are stirring your emotions for whatever reason, there is the Seven of Cups after all. You are being asked to speak your truth. What is it that you really want with the Queen of Pentacles here? She is someone who nurtures her material needs and her senses. She knows that that is what keeps her grounded and helps her to love herself, helps her to know the love within herself. The Queen of Swords, she protects with her sword, and is more defensive. So in this case, you're being asked to maybe not be so defensive, possibly, and instead try to open up and try to just say what you really want to say. And speaking your truth in the sense of knowing what you really want. You seem to have taken the time out in the recent past to have done that. Maybe something has happened in the past that has brought you to this position where you now have to make some sort of decision. But for some reason you don't want to let go of something, you don't want to take that step forward. You may feel like you need some more time. People see you as, if this is a love reading, which I'm inclined to feel like it is, if your lover perceives you as being someone that they truly feel a connect with, reciprocity abounds between you two, it's like one look and you may have felt like you knew this person already, or you felt something inside you kind of glow straight away. That subtle recollection, that although it is subtle, you can't deny it. So someone is looking at you quite romantically, and they see you as possibly their soulmate. You, on the other hand, see yourself as someone having to make a decision, and also very much loving yourself, I think. You're taking time out for yourself. And maybe this is your way of, you're buying time. You're taking time out for yourself until you can really figure out what you really love, what you really want, and where you're really going. With the Eight of Cups and your hopes and fears, you may be fearing that the person may not wait around for you to make this choice. You may be fearing that what you have invested actually isn't going to be something you can build on in the future. You may also be concerned that what you're being offered, of all the things you're being offered, not even one of them makes you happy. And that actually what you want is much more, that in actual fact, what you've been manifesting so far or what has been brought to you so far actually isn't even close to what you actually really want. And you may have come to that realization. There's definitely some sort of karmic energy here between you and this person. This person could be an air sign, most definitely. Could be a Libra person that you're speaking to, another air sign like yourself, or could be a water sign. most definitely could be a water sign as well, which, as you know, possibly by now is Pisces, if I remember, Cancer and Scorpio. And in actual fact, I've always connected the Seven of Cups with Scorpio, so it could be a Scorpio that you're seeing, possibly. And that's who you have to decide on. You may be deciding between an earth sign and a swords, an air sign possibly. But definitely a strong air energy here. There's a significant pentacle earth energy here as well. Anything you haven't got is the fire sign energy, the rod's energy. So it looks like in the future, though, if you do decide to settle down, quite possibly it could be with, could be with an earthy kind of watery sign. I guess only you can know. But yeah, there's definitely an energy here of karma. The Justice card has shown up. We've got lots of swords swinging about here as well, as in cutting karmic ties and justice and almost like judgment. So yeah, and then with the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Cups, there's definitely a karmic relationship going on. It looks as if there possibly will be some sort of commitment made, and you will be taking your relationship to the next level. I guess I would advise you, as with all karmic relationships, to heed the lessons that are in front of you, to take the opportunity to use the relationship to look at yourself more honestly, to try to balance out whatever karmic debt that there is, to really look inside yourself and see where you are unbalanced, and figure out how you can help this person, to the person that you're seeing, to find their own balance in one way or another. Although when you're not responsible for anyone, still, if you can offer someone some insight or support in whatever way that you can see where maybe they can't, you can show them that blind spot with love, if it's appropriate. It may not be, but try your best, I guess. So I think that definitely was a love reading that's come through. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there as love. If you've got any further questions, please do let me know. I've also got the 3 oracle cards here: Round and Round, Fork in the Road, and the Observer, which ties in really. And I hadn't actually looked at these at all until now, but it does. I mean, definitely the Observer. You've taken the time out. You want more time to think about things. That's very much an observing kind of energy. Fork in the Road. There's definitely a decision with the 7 crowning with choices, and the Justice card that does talk of choices. And with the the 8 of Cups as well, often talks to there being some sort of fork in the road when it comes to making a decision about love. And I feel that you're being asked to just be honest. Basically, that's what you're being asked to do, is to be honest with yourself and what you want, and go from there. And that's the overall lesson That's the major arcana that showed up. She talks about knowing what you really want, being honest about it, being just and fair, not projecting too much onto other people, but owning your own stuff, and going for what you truly want, what's in your heart of heart, the truth, your own inner scales of justice, right and wrong, etc., etc. So also got round and round. So yeah, there's with the 2 4s there, there's the round and round energy. You're kind of not deciding. You're kind of going back and forth between not doing anything and thinking about it, and then still not doing anything and then wanting more time to think about it. I think there's a back and forth possibly going on there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read from the book. Often it's quite an interesting interpretation they offer. So round and round is number 25, which is 7 again, which talks to making a decision. And it also talks about divine timing. So yeah, maybe, you are following, you are doing the right thing, you are in the right element. With the king and the queen there, it could be a couple, but it could also be talking about you being in your element. Totally. And maybe you are doing the right thing by taking the time out. But it looks like you will have to make a decision at some point this month, to keep the karma flowing, basically, and to allow the karma, to keep flowing. 25. For it not to get stagnant, if you have to repeat this lesson all over again with somebody else. So essential meanings of the round and round card is the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated. The spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated. Cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. So I just had said that. So I feel that's a prominent message. It's about making a decision now so you don't have to kind of go round and repeat this with somebody else or in another situation. The relationship message says, are you wondering, how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar? Don't be surprised that you've found yourself repeating an old story with the same sort of person who may not look similar, but who attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Your relationship is a mix of what is good and what is potentially challenging. You have been drawn to this person through the perfection of Spirit's plan for your evolution. You may have circled back to an accustomed spot, a familiar place, but that's fine, as you get to do things again, only differently this time, for you learned something of great value since the last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain curious and stay out of the blame game. That pretty much, I feel that pretty much sums up a lot of what was said in the reading previously. And it is about making that choice and moving from the queen to the king, I think. You may be comfortable as the queen in the queen energy, but you are being asked now to kind of maybe step out of your feelings for a bit, be a bit more objective and actually look to see what your truth is. So then we've got number 13, Fork in the Road, which talks about endings and moving on to the next better thing. So it says for the essential meaning, time to make a decision, considering the consequences as you prepare to act, owning up to your obligation to make a necessary choice. Yeah, we've talked about that as well. It's quite interesting. You've reached a moment of truth in the evolution of your relationship. Which will you choose? To open up to the possibility of love, or to remain isolated, to go deeper and commit to a mutual passion, or to walk away? This is a time to take responsibility for your truest desire and follow it. Be honest with yourself about what you're willing to do, invest and give, then choose. You cannot make a wrong choice. If you move forward with a relationship, know that it will be based in truth and authenticity. You will have made a conscious decision rather than simply hanging on because you don't want to be alone, or ending things because you're afraid of the intensity of genuine connection. All roads lead to the lessons you must learn in your relationships. Regardless of your decisions you make, it will place you on the path to a truer experience of the heart. That's the Justice card. Okay. Yeah. Again, that completely supports what the Justice card lesson is saying. It's about making that decision that's true to yourself. Okay, then we've got number 49, the very last oracle card, which is called the Observer. Just flicking through, sorry, the book to get to number 49. 146, 7, 8, and then 9. Okay, perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. That's the essential message. The relationship message says, sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take to higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself, in others, and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. So yeah, I think that's probably what the Queen of Swords and King of Swords possibly is talking about. It's about taking it one step from being an emotional perspective and a protective perspective and a defensive perspective to a more objective perspective, and sticking to the truth and the truth of the matter, which is the Page of Swords only is ever concerned with the absolute truth and completely honors that. And the Justice card is your outcome for the month. So it looks like you've got some deciding to do, and it should be very easy. No decision can be wrong as long as it's from your heart and you know exactly that it's what you want. So good luck with that. Take the time out to meditate. The Queen of Pentacles, it would suggest, take some time to relax and pamper yourself. Maybe if that's what it takes to clear your mind and make a choice. But it is about loving yourself with the Queen of Pentacles here. So good luck with that. It's very